Yeah.
All right, I'm going to call the meeting to order at 7:30. Roll call, William Johnson.
Here.
Thomas Graffinino.
Here.
Lynn Colligan.
Here.
Lisa Kreckler.
Here.
Phil Diorio is here. We also have present Steve Kiley, Town Attorney. First order of business is to review and approve the December 4th, 2024 minutes. Can I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we have a work session, one application, 3 Locust Avenue, Cummings. I'm going to recuse myself from that as I am a friend of the applicant.
Okay, so we wanted to continue our discussion with this application. Because we had some questions and we needed more clarification. We wanted to really do our due diligence and revisit the site and assess what they're really asking for. I had a chance to go to the site and it was helpful to see from the bedrooms how much this deck was going to be encompassing, and I thought it was rather large. And I know the board had discussed possibly granting alternative relief in means of a smaller deck. I just drafted an option that I thought feasible after our visit, that you would have kind of a 2-deck option, squaring up that one from that corner by the bay window, just kind of squaring up. So you'd have 1 deck off of one room and then 1 deck off of the other room.
Which would address the issue, I was at the site as well, address any concerns there were about noise and large gatherings, I think.
Yes, agreed. Did anyone else get a chance to visit the site and have more thoughts on this?
A couple of days ago, yeah.
Great.
And I had a couple of questions. One, I'm looking at the exact footprint of what's below it. It is large. I mean, not unfathomable. It's not crazy. But one of my questions was if there had been repeat noise complaints at the existing. I know this would be uncovered and at, up higher, but is this a known problem that they've been getting noise complaints there? I know looking ahead with this size of this footprint and the possibility of 2 rooms co-joined out on 1 deck, there's possibility of noise, but has there been any to date complaints of noise?
I can't 100% speak to that.
It was just a question that I never asked and I should have.
The good thing about this setup is that it is owner occupied, so the owner is on site. So neighbors do have a point of contact if there is an issue. I think in the record, neighbors said that historically there have not been significant issues with noise.
I think in the
But they've never-
second letter, the neighbor had stated that noise was indeed not their main concern, but more the screening. So that changed a little bit in the second letter on record. Okay, well, this schematic that you came up with looks reasonable. There was the second issue of the trees.
Yes.
Only comment I have, I still think it's quite large for, he come in, he said he wanted a table and a couple of chairs for each room. And you got, on this one side, you got about 132 square feet. Towards the Hunts, I didn't check this other figure,
142.
142.
They're both roughly 142, just different,
Yeah.
shaped differently.
Because I personally,
Yep.
I have a deck at my own house, it's 16 by 6. I have a grill on it, I have a 3-foot table, 4 chairs, and another table, and still got room on the deck.
How many square
Ample
footage is that?
for 6 by 16. And I've had it there for quite a few years. That's about 90 square feet, 96 square feet.
96 square feet.
When we were up there in the rooms,
Right,
looking out on it, as a whole, it looked rather large.
right,
But with this new schematic of leaving that corner not a deck, did feel much less intrusive on that side of the house.
right.
But I didn't think it felt too big to have the two separately. It didn't feel too big. And I think it will give a nice line of the front with the railing to have it.
right.
It would be very choppy, I think, if we were to, unless you
Push it
could.
back a little bit.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
aesthetically, I know we're not, an architectural review board, but I think aesthetically that would look terrible to either pull it in or pull it to the side.
The only thing, the bigger you make the deck, more people you can get out there.
Right, so the way the bedrooms were set up, it doesn't seem like with the two that would be an issue. It just is very nice being up there, if you are a guest,
Yes.
or if the owner decided to occupy that space instead, which is his prerogative, to
Right,
have those
Yeah,
options.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, the only one that I could see downsizing would be the long, narrow one, and you could cut it instead of going to the right of that bay window, you could cut it on the left and go straight out. I don't have the numbers, though, of that section to know the length of it.
I just think it wouldn't look right, honestly,
Yeah.
having been up in those rooms.
And I know Lynn and I talked about when we were on the site, possibly allowing for like a faux railing to complete that corner that's not occupied, in case aesthetically it might look weird having that open area. I don't know if that's something that the board is open to. Which is, it would have a similar look to the original
Yeah.
plan, except you'd have, you wouldn't be able to go out on that one section.
Is that
Yes,
size
no.
okay, Punch?
I still have a problem being that big.
What would you suggest we cut then, knowing that aesthetically it might not look good?
But that one house, that white house you showed, it was a short deck out on that one corner. I don't have the picture with me.
Looking at this plan, how would you make it smaller?
Like you said, you go to that bay window, just the edge of it. That's enough to get plenty of chairs. Look like, it's 7 feet probably by, I don't know, that's 22, probably it's 12 by 7.
It's probably a 12 by 7, yes.
Yeah. You got plenty of room, put a table and 2 chairs.
12 by 7 is 84 square feet.
Yeah. But
One of the reasons why too, I was
I
thinking,
understand for the looks, what
The
you
flow
did.
of it too, like they have to live with this.
I know,
and I also don't think you're gonna have people sitting out in front of that bay window because A, it's a bay window, and
It's pretty tight.
it's really tight, it's narrow. So if that bay window comes out 3 feet, you actually only have about 4
4 feet.
4 feet, so you
Right.
can't put chairs there.
Yeah.
So it's almost kind of,
It's the back of deck is bigger.
yeah.
Or the hunts. I know why you want to go out there, because it gives them the chance to look around the corner more towards over Pecosi's way out to Deer Harbor. If they sit out there,
Yeah.
I understand why you're doing it. But I'm not,
Corner section.
Without encroaching on the hunts with that front piece.
right,
That's really kind of does stick out there.
yeah.
I'm okay with it as we discussed it and as you drafted it.
Okay.
Are you okay with this?
I think it makes sense. I like the fact that it's missing that front piece there, but, it's shortening it up quite a bit.
Yeah.
When you're up there, it's a massive roof.
It is a
And
matter.
even when I was noticing when I was driving around the heights throughout the week, just looking at second story balconies and decks, and a lot of them don't encompass the entire porch.
No.
So that's why I also thought this would be more,
Keeping.
yeah, in keeping with the characteristic of the neighborhood.
But I understand also why they drew it the way they did to begin with. To go
course.
right up from what
Yeah.
is existing down below, it makes the most sense.
Are you okay with it, Punch?
Not quite sold yet.
Not sold.
All right, can we talk about the
All right,
foliage?
yes.
and then-
Go ahead,
Okay.
move on.
Okay, so we had a couple foliage plans in place for along that edge that abuts the Hunts. I think it is the owner's desire to have some sort of landscape screening there. But I also agree that it should not go all the way out to the edge of the property in keeping with the neighbor's viewpoint and all of that. I think a nice compromise would be to allow screening up to the halfway mark of that sunroom. So looking at option A, it almost looks like taking away one less tree or whatever, screening.
Yeah.
I know it's not 100% accurate. Thoughts on
It's
screening?
significantly less because not only is it not going out to
Mhm.
the edge of the property, it's only going out halfway from and it's bifurcating the sun porch. It's like the halfway point of the sun porch.
Mhm.
So it's significantly less screening than was proposed originally.
But we're, and walking around the rooms, it does give some barrier to the rooms at least, but
Yeah.
also protecting the openness of the space.
Yeah. It was sort of a compromise to cut the screening.
Yeah, I agree with that, 100%.
Any thoughts on
No,
screening?
that makes sense to come out that, shorten it up that much.
Okay. Yep. I mean, wording wise, it would be like to the midway point of the screened-in porch section.
Yeah, or a dimension.
Yeah, if we can get a dimension from
Yeah.
the drawings, yeah. Were there any other issues that we needed to discuss on this one?
So,
Any other conditions that we want to impose on this that we need to think about?
I know it was mentioned in the hearing that there was a wish for no awnings or sides,
Okay.
that the heights raised that, I believe.
No roof enclosure.
Yeah, no roof enclosure, no awnings or sides, yeah. Steven, is that something? A roof enclosure? Can we say no roof?
Well, yeah, roof enclosure would be structural, so they would have to come back here
Oh, yeah.
anyway if they wanted to do that, but you're saying they're retractable awning or something?
I don't know. I'm just looking at my notes about awnings or sides.
I think that's out of our,
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
because again, if it's structural, then they would have to come back if they want to do something. But if they want to,
Could they put an awning up? Is that technically structural?
put a retractable awning, that may be within their rights. If they want to put a table and have a big umbrella there, they can do
Right.
that.
Yeah.
So, but again, if they
Okay.
want to put like a permanent roof, then they need to come back from the board.
Okay.
I don't think you really need a condition for that.
All right, that's all I could see for conditions.
Okay, so are we good to go on our checklist? Do you have anything else to input about this?
Well,
Tom?
do we go ahead with a checklist?
Because we're at a work session, so we'd have to do the checklist,
Yep.
yeah. Because we've already put it off.
Okay.
Is there something else? that
What
you-
else is on your mind, Tom?
No. I thought it would come back to us with, but that would be after the checklist.
So we're going to write our resolution with this as contingency.
I'm gonna.
Procedurally, Stephen can talk to about that.
I'll meet with the building inspector and memorialize what you have depicted into something that we can throw into the decision. And a condition would be subject to the receipt of plans that memorialize that condition in the plans. And that's what will be stamped.
Okay. Good. That's good, Stephen.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have both the denial letter.
I just have one quick question,
Yeah, go
actually.
ahead, please.
On the vegetation, is that visually gonna be screening, the decks from the neighbor or from passerbys?
Yeah, I see what you're getting at.
Because I don't see
Yeah,
a nexus
right.
between that condition and the relief they're asking for. I think that's encroaching onto private property rights a little bit.
Okay,
Even though the chief complaint of the neighbor was the screening?
Again, that's something neighbor to neighbor that they could work out. Again, if you were only issuing this variance with the screening of the vegetation so you can't see it and it
Right.
provides a visual barrier, then there's that nexus right now
Yeah.
saying, all right, we'll give it to you, but you can't plant vegetation over here. There's not,
right.
because there's no benefit to that condition to ameliorate the harm.
Mhm.
So I just think that that's something that you have to.
It's outside of our jurisdiction. Okay. Okay,
Are we area variance or special?
that's what I was looking up right now. Area variance.
Area, right?
It's both.
Yes, area, and yep, I have it right here.
Which one we gonna do
If it was
first?
a 10-foot tall tree, would that, or is it
I
too
think
much
we're
of a?
grasping it.
That's fine. That's fine. I just want to make sure we
Yeah.
covered everything. Okay. Okay, so let's do our area variance first. Whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties.
I think no. Due to the fact that there are homes in the vicinity with second-story
Yep.
decks.
Yep. Would the benefit sought by the applicant be achieved by a feasible alternative to the variance? I mean, they could not install the deck, but their desire is to have a deck. So the only way,
Oh, sorry.
so the only way to do that is through a variance. So what are we thinking on that one?
We'd have to say no.
Whether the request of variance is substantial? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we're looking at if that full deck, then if you need some square footage
Yeah.
for your reasoning, what we are looking to grant is approximately, again, this is just my own math,
147 plus
Plus
143.
289. It's less than 289 because of the bay
Yeah.
window, but, so it's approximately 289 square foot,
One is
289.
289.
Well, at the end of the day. Would the variance have an adverse impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood? I don't think environmentally it will have a negative impact.
No.
It's a deck,
It's not even really an addition, it's
right?
above an existing roof line, so physically, I don't believe so either.
No, it's not jutting out over out of the structure.
Okay. And whether the alleged difficulty was self-created. Yes, they want
Yes.
to add the deck. Okay. We didn't have to put in any conditions other than the fact that the resolution will include what we have proposed here, and that it's going to be subject to plans being submitted that reflect
Yeah.
our proposal.
Stephen, we can't say that the screening will not exceed a certain length or anything, we can't really do?
No, in my mind,
Okay.
that's just too bad.
Okay.
And special permit, is the proposed use the most appropriate uses of this land?
Sorry,
Yes,
still.
yes. The use is remaining as it is. They're gonna have, the only change is that they'll be able to use it in the same way, just more so because they'll have an outside deck to utilize. Will this use be detrimental to surrounding property values?
No.
Will the use cause an overcrowding of land or undue concentration of population?
The
No.
same number of guests will remain, I
Right,
believe
maybe
he
not
said.
occupancy, right, they,
Yeah.
are not
Yeah.
increasing the rooms.
No.
Is the site suitable for the location of such use in this town? Yes, again, the use isn't changing, and there are other properties in the Heights that have decks on the second story. You okay, Lynn?
Yeah.
Okay. Is the proposal harmonious with the character of the existing and probable development of uses in this vicinity? Yes.
It's an existing use.
Mhm. Is it the proposed use accessible for fire and other emergency apparatus?
Yes.
Yes. Is the proposed use unreasonably near a church, school, theater, recreational area, or other places of public assembly? No.
No.
Will the proposed use interfere with established uses in the neighborhood? No.
No.
Are the driveways and sidewalks adequate to ensure the public safety and avoid traffic congestion?
Yes.
Yes, there's parking for guests staying there. Are there adequate facilities for the treatment, removal, and discharge of sewage, refuse, and other effluents from this use?
Yes.
Yes. Will the proposed use cause odors, dust, light, or noise, and if so, how can that impact be minimized? We discussed it causing possible noise because people will be congregating outside, except we did take steps to minimize that by making the deck smaller and separating the two. Will the proposed use impact the aquifer and other important natural resources? If so, how can they be protected?
No, it's the same.
No.
Is the lot big enough for the proposed use and its reasonable anticipated operation and expansion? Yes.
Yes.
Is there enough off-street parking for employees or visitors, and is parking laid out in a conventional and safe way? Yes.
Yes.
What buffers and screenings are necessary to protect adjacent properties and land uses? Well.
Steven's saying you
Steven
can't
says we can't have any.
Yes, Steve.
Yeah. Okay. We're good.
Steven, you want these? Now that you're here?
Yes, please.
Do
Thank
you
you.
want this?
Yes.
Thank you, Lisa.
I've been. Of course.
Motion to, we need to end the work session?
Oh, maybe. Do we need a motion to end the work session and go into the,
You can come to that.
You don't have to make a motion, Stephen?
I know you do. The chair can.
Close the work section.
Can I get a motion to close the work session?
Yes, I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, We have one resolution tonight. It's for 73 Shore Road and 65 Stearns Point Road, the Perlman application. Can we give us a little synopsis of this, please?
Application by the Perlman Music Program for a special permit at 73 Shore Road and 65 Stearns Point Road, Shelter Island, New York, Suffolk County Tax Map 700-13-2-31 and 700-13-2-32.1. The Zoning Board of Appeals participated in a coordinated secret review of the Step 1 action. The town board, as lead agency, determined that this proposed action will not result in a significant adverse impact to the environment and adopted a negative declaration. The basis of the application is a request for a special permit for an educational institution pursuant to Town Code Section 133-7B2 to maintain an instructional music camp. November 25th, 2024, the town board granted site plan approval for the subject project. Zoning Board of Appeals considered general suitability, public services, environmental concerns, and a site development. Decision of the board is to approve the request for a special permit to operate an instructional music camp in the location as shown on 73 Shore Road, site prepared by F. Michael Hammer, LSPC, dated March 27, 2022, was revised in June 12, 2024, and the 65 Stearns Point Road site plan prepared by F. Michael Hammer, LSPC, dated August 7, 2022, and was revised on June 12, 2024.
I have a motion to approve the resolution.
Make a motion.
All right.
Or are we voting?
You guys have got to make the vote
Oh, first motion.
Oh, yeah.
personal, beginning. I'll second it. Yeah,
Roll call vote. William Johnston,
yes.
Thomas Graffinini,
Thomas Graffino, yes.
Lynn Colligan,
Yes.
Lisa Kreckler.
Yes.
And Phil DeGroia votes yes. Okay. Next up, we have continuation of the application for 15 Bayshore Drive, Ludman. Someone here to present for them?
Yeah, Matt Sherman, Sherman Engineering and Consulting. I'm here on behalf of the Ludemans. My understanding was that we've already had the hearing for this, presented the application, and that this was going to be adjourned and it was going to be done in coordination with the town board and their wetlands permit process.
Okay, there, this application wound up getting caught up in the same thing that the South Ferry application got caught up in with a declaration of a type 1 action. Has something changed with this, Stephen? I wanted to just ask how this is working now.
Yes, absolutely. So we have this type 1 list. A lot of municipalities don't. They defer to the SECRA type 1 list. Type 1 actions are actions that are likely to have a significant adverse impact on the environment. So we augmented the state list with these actions. And however, you can't, okay, so that's a type 1 action, one that could have a negative impact. Then you have type 2 actions, which the state has deemed will not have a significant impact on the environment. So they have this long type 2 list, and a municipality can't take a type 2 action and convert it into a type 1 action if it's on the type 2 state list. Arguably, we have done that with our type 1 list, particularly with the type 1 action at issue here. It's 60-12B10 that says any operation which may degrade or despoil any freshwater or tidal wetlands. So right now, we're currently looking at this code to make sure that we're not running afoul of SECRA. But that really doesn't help us here, right? Because we haven't made that change. However, it's after, there was 7 Cheekwit, there was Article 78, there was a judicial decision, said that that action was a type 1. our environmental consultant and the powers that be in the town said, oh, they must be type ones if you're doing any work within the 100-foot regulated area. However, in parsing the language, which is very important here, our type 1 action that speaks to this, the one 60-12B10, which says any operation which may degrade or despoil any freshwater or tidal wetlands. By definition, pursuant to our wetlands code, if you're doing any work in the 100-foot regulated area, you're outside of wetlands. So it can't be a type 1 action. Because like our definitionally in the wetlands code, we have a definition of a wetland boundary. In the 100-foot regulated area, the 75-foot buffer and the 25 adjacent regulated area all starts at the wetland boundary. So unless you're putting in a bulkhead or dock or something like that, you would not fall underneath this. So we've pivoted and we've reevaluated it, and Ludeman and South Ferry would not be type 1 actions then. So now it's back to the plain vanilla type 2 action. So there's no secret review required.
Okay, so then are we supposed to take action on this here? Like close this hearing at this point?
Okay, so yeah, your secret review, that's done. It's a type 2. We're treating it like any other plain vanilla area variance that we did, which is type 2, rubber stamp type 2. On the other side, this needs town board approval for wetlands, these two applications. We're trying not to have one board handcuff the other. Like you come out and make a decision and approve something, and then the town board's like, hey, wait a minute, we didn't even get a chance to vet this, and now you're sort of handcuffing us on what to approve and bad, whatever. So we're trying to do reviews concurrently. So you had the hearing, I would suggest you adjourn it, allow the town board to, proceed and see where they are, come back while the hearing's still open, because if something comes up on the town board level, on the wetland level, that might be pertinent here, it'd be important to understand that. And like I said, have the approvals almost concurrently or simultaneously, as much as you possibly can. So that's what we're trying to do here. So it's my recommendation that you accept the adjournment request, and we kick it over for, Christina, what would be like a month or two before it gets.
Yeah, that would be,
Wetlands application,
yeah,
That'll be going in next week, so it's gonna be a little while.
This is for Ludeman.
okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Right.
let me, is this something that now that the town board wants to do going forward, that we're gonna do anything that has area variance or whatever that needs something from the ZBA, and something that needs wetlands from the town board, is that something that going forward, we're going to try to do these things
Yes.
currently?
Correct, and even if it's area variance and site plan, or anytime there's dueling jurisdictions on projects, on the same project, you want to just keep them sort of neck and neck as far as one getting out in front of the other.
Does it make everything a delay, though, in doing that?
No,
It doesn't?
I think it would probably speed things up, actually.
yeah, because they're not going to be able to do the work anyway until they get the wetlands, so this is
Okay.
just sitting.
For you, it will spread the hearing.
Yeah.
For you, it will.
Yeah.
For the applicant, it's efficient.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, maybe they won't, maybe something won't come up. And then it's just them coming back, we are about to close the hearing over there and, and then you just close it.
Let me ask you, is this standard operating procedure in other places? Or
Yes.
as far as I can see, when I read the local East End newspapers, there are no concurrent reviews of anything.
Well, no. Southold absolutely does it. Southold actually has internal meetings between representatives of the zoning board and it's more than likely the planning board over there. And they sit together and they have internal conferences while these things are both going on at the same time.
So,
A lot of things that you're reading, there aren't dual applications for the same project.
Okay, so then, without those sort of, I call them liaisoning sort of meetings, right, where you're having these internal meetings, how will we be kept abreast of what the town board does, and how will the town board be kept abreast of what we do?
Through myself, you know,
And I mean, whatever, we have our liaisons come here, but we don't necessarily attend town board meeting.
well, you read the paper, as you said, so you'll be apprised of what goes on. But no, yeah, I would recommend that you watch the hearing, as part of your due diligence. So there's that. And then also the applicant comes in and, you know, he's going to be addressing things that came up and putting things into the record. And then there's myself, that will update you.
But it's still dragging out the procedure long.
Yeah.
Only for us, Punch.
Yeah.
But
And
again,
the customer, the person applying.
No, not
no,
necessarily, we're
it's the
saying.
same. It's
Yeah.
exactly the same.
Because he,
And it actually, they're going to speed up.
before this, I think that for applicants, Punch, they couldn't even submit their wetlands
Oh,
paperwork
I know, you couldn't.
until after they were done.
Yeah, so now they're going to be able to do it at the same time.
All right, if they can do that, that's better, because this has been dragging out on a couple of these.
Yeah, and these couple applications got caught up in this whole secret.
Okay, so we're looking for an adjournment until February?
Yeah.
All right, let's get the date here.
February 26th. Can you please double check?
I'm doing it right now.
That's for Lumen and South
Look
Ferry.
at me, man.
Well, look at- right
I'm
now,
not looking
we're
at the
talking
calendar
about-
right now.
Lumen,
So,
February.
can I have a motion to adjourn this until the February 26th meeting? What's that?
February 26, 2025.
Yes,
I'll make
yeah.
that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
All right,
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we have 135 South Ferry Road, that's South Ferry Inc.
Mark South Ray.
So you've heard the,
Yes.
The bad news.
Well, yes, I just need, I'll look for clarification, I kind of read it, but I think it's possible we have our wetlands in already. Did you get an email to you?
I don't know, it's submitted to the town clerk, not to me, so, but I know that I spoke with Amber in the morning and she said it's coming.
Notarized things today,
Yeah, it's possible that it's been it.
but it hasn't, at this group, it can't change anything, it's gonna happen here as far as, adjourning until February, it's kind of, what the options, because we're gonna move wetlands.
Well, not done. You have to go, you have to go through the hearing process.
Clarification.
No, again, it's on a dual track. It's gonna, the timing's contemporaneous.
look, we can adjourn this to January on the off chance, no?
It will not happen because when the town board sets the meeting, they also have 30 days period,
Okay.
you know,
They'll act on it.
for the notice.
Cliff, it looks like February 26th would be the earliest date.
No, but even if you said, okay, we're gonna close the hearing, and at the next work session, you're gonna approve this. It still doesn't, he's still going through the whole town
Yeah,
wetlands
okay.
process. It's not safe. He can't go build.
Okay, so can I have a motion to adjourn the South Ferry hearing until February 26th?
Yeah, I guess I'll make the motion.
Thanks, Bill.
I'll say.
At least keep it going.
aye.
I just want to say, it's frustrating, I know you kind of got caught in it, but we already spent, I guess, we're close to $10,000 to get the type one. We're already there, basically, we already spent time in the hours and months, hours of time. It's just frustrating.
If I
We feel you.
I know you all, I don't know you so well, Lisa, but I know these other people very well. And I know it's an honest effort and you're just trying, and I'm not criticizing any of you, just want to let you know that it really do have an impact.
Yeah,
And the rate, you folks, these folks are gonna have to pay for that $10,000 or $15,000, $20,000. Appreciate the hard work.
But the conversion from the type 1 to the type 2 is gonna save you time. Also save the taxpayer money on the secret side.
That I know. We're talking about
So
project.
which-
I was hoping to have the building built by now. But I understand what you're saying.
No, but this is helping. Your attorney was happy finding out this information, so
Yep, we're very
we're
happy.
trying to help you.
I know you are. I appreciate it.
And Cliff, in February, if the town board has taken some action, we will, try to advance this as quickly as possible. If, if there's any revision to the plans or whatever, please submit them to us so that we are ready to go when our day comes.
We're not anticipating a revision. Unfortunately, we had planned to put in public bathrooms, and to do that would have just quadrupled the size of our septic system. And what we're planning, we're going with a high system, but so we had to back away from that. It's too bad, because it should be going down.
And that's a good point you just raised, actually. That say if they went through, you approved it at the next work session. Like you issued a resolution approving this. And he goes through the wetlands process, through the public hearing process, some give and take, and he had to tweak the building a little bit here or there, or the addition. Then he would have to come back here and ask us to have a rehearing to amend it. So it makes sense to have this dual track.
Okay. All right, Cliff, we'll see you in February.
Thanks, Liv.
For Christmas, Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah.
You too. You too.
Thank you.
All right. We have one new hearing tonight, and that's 33 Tuttle Drive, Rolfe. Do we have someone here to present? Oh, yes, sorry.
You guys gotta leave the notice.
Will you please read the notice?
Hearing on the application of David and Tiffany Rowe, owner of 33 Tuttle Drive, Row, New York, a corner lot which is located in an AA or reverts to a residential zoning district, near Shore Overlay District, and is more specifically described on the Suffolk County Tax Map as 700-12-1-3. The applicant is seeking variances from Shelter Island Town Code Section 133-6B5A and B1 as follows. To hold 38.2 front yard setback where 40 is required for the second floor addition to the primary structure. To hold 12.5 rear yard setback where 25 is required for the attached outdoor tower. And to hold 19.4 feet rear yard setback where 25 is required for the proposed footprint expansion of the primary structure. Additionally, a special permit is required pursuant to Section 133-23(2) in order to alter or expand the pre-existing non-conforming dwelling.
Good evening, Matt Sherman, Sherman Engineering and Consulting. I'm here on behalf of David and Tiffany Rolfe, the property owners. Frederick Bacher is their designer. He's online. If you have any questions that we might need to toss to him, hopefully he'll be able to log in or chime in, I should say. This project is it's a renovation to an existing single-family dwelling and accessory building. The site is on Tuttle Drive, just right between Tuttle Drive and Graham Island Road. I'm going to share my screen. I've got a quick presentation to show you, which just kind of goes through basically the same information that we had in the application package. I made sure that we provided a whole bunch of full-size applications, so nobody could complain that they were too small to see.
The reason we ever complain about that, Matt, is because it's actually true.
Oh, yeah.
We're not making it up.
Yeah.
You gotta see the numbers.
Yes.
But we appreciate the effort.
Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure. All right, this is the site plan. South Graham Island Drive to the north, Tuttle Drive to the south. There's other residential properties south of Tuttle Drive before you get down to Shanty Bay and Cockles Harbor. This property, as you can see, it has 3 road frontages: South Graham Island Drive, Oak Road, and Tuttle Drive. There is a single-family dwelling, which is basically in the middle of the property. Decent-sized deck to the south of the property, south of the building, a deck to the north of the building. This is a garage and a garage building with accessory sleeping structures in it. And then this here is the driveway and parking area. The so setbacks on this property are 40 foot from the roads, and then being in AA zone, reverting to single A because of the age of the property and the size of the property. You've got a 12.5-foot side yard setback for accessory structures without living space, decks, patios, things like that. 20-foot setback for swimming pools, and then a 25-foot setback for principal dwelling structure, mechanical equipment, things like that. So as the site currently exists, we've got some nonconformities. The accessory building on the north, 476 square feet, is in the side yard setback, and then 6 square feet is in the front yard setback of South Ram Island Drive. The main dwelling, 23 square feet, is within the front yard setback of Oak Road, and then 245 square feet are in the side yard setback to the property on the left-hand side of the screen here. That's the property of Bob Cohn. The encroachments into those side yard setbacks, they include the Bilco doors, there's a garbage bin, there's outdoor shower, basement entrances, things along those lines. So basically, that's the total of the existing encroachment. So for our proposed encroachment, basically the existing accessory building remains the same. There is an addition on the accessory building that is interior to the property, so it does not add to any nonconformity. It's a conforming addition. On the Oak Road side, same thing. The existing nonconformity remains. There are some additions to the building that are on that side of the building, but they're in conforming locations, so they're not adding to anything. On that side, for the side yard property, we do add 54 square feet in that side yard setback, and I'll have you a bigger version of this here in just a second, so you can see what creates that additional area. So the setback, or the encroachment into the setback on that side goes from 245 square feet to 291 square feet. So that's we've got a couple of things are going away, but a couple of things are coming in as far as the size of the shower, the basement entrance, the Bilco door, things along those lines. Excuse me. The site is currently being reviewed by the health department. We have to apply for a variance from them for it because of our separation distances for a septic system to nearby supply wells. We're at a point with them where they won't move any further until we have approval from this board. So we're at a standstill with the health department. Right now, the sanitary system is down in this southeast corner. That's where the proposed leaching field is going as well. So what we're proposing on this site is a IA septic system with a pressurized shallow drain field. So kind of like this site is tailor-made for that kind of sanitary system.
That again, Matt, I couldn't see that.
That's the leaching field there,
Oh, okay, yeah.
and then the IA unit is right up here.
Okay, thanks.
So these are elevations of the existing and the proposed. So right now, it's a one-story existing house. It ranges in elevation from 14 feet to approximately 14.4 feet, depending on where you are around the building. The proposed building, and these that you can see here, these red lines are the setback lines. So the proposed building ranges from 29 feet plus or minus to about 10 feet where it is on that lower end, a little bit less than 10 feet. At the areas where it's encroaching onto the setbacks, like on the proposed north elevation, for the Oak Road side, that's what's on the left-hand side of that screen. At the setback, you're 20.6 feet, and I'll show you a comparison of the existing and the proposed overlaid on top of each other, so it's easy to see what the changes are actually going to be. But at the property line, or at the setback line, the building is going to be 20.5 feet, 20.6 feet high. At the peak, which is well interior to the building, so it's in a conforming location, its highest point is 29. Code allows up to 35, so it's less, a fair bit less than what the maximum would be as far as.
What's the increase in height of stuff that intrudes into the setback?
On that side, you're at about 12 feet.
That side is which
I'm
side?
sorry, the Oak Road side.
Okay.
The road side, you're at about 12 feet on the existing roof. And then and you're at 20.6 on the proposed.
That's on the Oak Road
On
side.
the Oak Road side, yep. On the cone side, on the interior, and that's the one I'll show you in just a second, which shows the two of them overlaid on top of each other. The existing roof is 14 feet high within that side yard setback. The proposed roof is 12.8 feet high, so it actually comes down.
Say that again, Matt?
The existing roof on the cone side is 14 feet.
Yep.
The proposed roof at that line is 12.8, and it continues to go down. This is an overlay that you can see that with. So the green is proposed, the blue is existing. So this line here is that side yard line bordering Bob's property. So this area here is non-conforming, and that's going away. So this line here is the roof line of the new building, of the proposed building. Does that make sense? No. Okay, good.
Yeah.
They had gone through a couple of different iterations on this design. Initially, it was a little bit more squared off, it was a little bit higher, they played with a few things in order to get it to the point that, the initial goal, when we were talking about it, was try and make sure that it was no worse than what was there now. And they were able to play with it even more to even on that interior part, which is what we felt was more important, being that there's a neighbor there, that we actually made it less. So we felt that was a pretty good positive too, even though we were increasing nonconformities in other areas and in other components, that the actual height of the building at that side yard setback was being reduced.
Did you include this drawing in here?
Yes,
It is?
I believe it is.
It's in there.
Yeah.
It's on page
I want to make
two.
sure we had a copy of that. If-
It's page two.
There's only one thing in my presentation
I
that.
didn't open it up wide, I'm not sure.
It's too big.
It's too big.
There's only one drawing in there that I don't, in my presentation, that I did not put in that, and it's just a section sliced through the building, and I can supply that to you guys if you want it.
Oh, this is very helpful, thank you.
All right, so these are the other two elevations, the east and west elevations. Basically, just looking at it from the roadside on the west side, and then looking at it from the east side, which is the cone side, which is the west side, and the road side, which is the east side.
So on the west side, Matt,
Yeah.
do we have any increase in the wall that's in the setback there?
West side, this is the west side here. So yeah, this is that, I was saying it was 12 feet above grade. The new wall is 20.6 feet above grade.
So that's actually on the neighbor's side.
No, that's on the Oak Road side.
Oak Road.
And you bounce back. Here, this is the Oak Road.
Okay,
So this is the point that we're talking about, this 23 square feet.
what about on the other side? And that was where it decreased.
That's where it decreased, you got it, yep. All right, so this, and I'll have again, this is in your drawing list, your drawing packet. The existing basement, and the proposed basement, you've got an existing finished basement, call it a family room, game room, whatever you want to call it. It's got washer and dryer, TV, that kind of stuff. Typical kind of thing you would expect in a finished basement. The existing one is 551 square foot living area. We are increasing it with this mechanical room and a unfinished storage space. And then we're also increasing the footprint over here, but in a conforming area that basically squares it off for the structure above. So we are increasing the size of that finished basement area. There's an existing mechanical room here on this side. A portion of that is being absorbed into the living room area, or the family room area, I should say. And we're adding a half bath in the basement. So the square foot living area is going from 551 square feet to 664 square feet.
Yep.
First floor, right now we've got 3 bedrooms on the first floor, a living room, a dining room, a kitchen, and then a screened room. The area that is, that you saw in the basement, that was new area, the one that's gonna be crawl space turns into this portion of the foyer, right up here. The kitchen, the dining room, the living room are the main portions of the first floor. We've got this addition here, another 242 square feet that gets added, and we've got 2 bedrooms. In that, basically that addition allows us for those 2 bedrooms in that area. This is a zoomed in version, just to make it a little bit easier to see. So we've got, again, the foyer with that addition, kitchen, dining room, living room, the bedrooms with the 242 square foot and new footprint. The second floor, we've got a bedroom, 180 square feet, bathroom, closets. There's an office, which is 111 square feet, and then a bathroom in this hallway. This area is open to below, and these are 2 unfinished attic areas in that lower portion of the roof that I'll show you on the section here in just a second. When we were designing the sanitary system, the building's it's a 3-bedroom building, but we're treating this office as if it were a 4th bedroom for the sanitary design. And that's by health department regulation, because we've got a living room and we've got a basement family room. Anything else like an office or a game room or anything to that effect, we design for as a bedroom.
And Matt, the 2 unfinished attics, does those include that sloped roof?
Yeah, I'll show you that in just a
Okay,
second.
great.
If you got it. And it's right here. So this triangle right here on that left-hand side, that's that unfinished attic space right there. So it's just a void basically.
What's the height when you first enter that space? The ceiling?
I don't have a dimension, but it's gonna be less than 6 feet. And it's not really an accessible space. Remember, this is open to below. Down here, so it's more like a cubby, you know, like you would have if you have a Cape style house where the roof comes down and you'll have that knee wall. It's like a 4-foot knee wall. It's that kind of idea. And that's why I put this section in here to clarify what those attic spaces were, that they're not anything that could by any stretch of the definition be turned into living area.
Are they 2 separate spaces that in between, is that a wall between them or?
They are divided, so it's not like it's gonna be one common space, yeah. And, you know, keeping this area here is kind of like an extension of that area that's looking down over top of the family room. So this shows the basement, shows the bathroom. You know, this is all existing, the existing foundation. This is an area of that new crawl space that's extending out underneath that foyer area. And then this is a new access way, that Bilco door coming down in that replaces the existing one. One of the things that I wanted to make sure on this project was because we want to utilize the existing foundation, and that is a large justification for keeping the building the size and the configuration that it is we had John Congdon, a local structural engineer, went out, evaluated it, and said that the foundation, some of it he couldn't see because of the finished basement that's there now, but a lot of it he could, and the existing framing and the existing foundation that he inspected is sufficient to support the support this building. So he's doing the structural design of the building, and he's also confirmed that the foundation and the existing framing in that first floor structure, what is to remain, is sufficient, and we're not going to have an issue of they start doing construction and they have to come back and go, oh no, you know, we thought we could use it, but now we can't. And I've got a copy of that letter that I'll give to the board. This is the accessory sleeping building. In essence, it's pretty much staying the same. You know, the south elevations are getting cleaned up a little bit. The eaves are changing a little. So there's more cosmetic changes to the building. But as far as the dimensions of the building and where things are laid out and whatnot from the outside, there's really not going to be much of a difference in them. You know, these are in the drawings as well. Existing and proposed south elevation. North elevation, which is the one facing South Rim Island Drive with the garage door. That changed a little bit, get it in for storage, garbage, and things like that. The AC compressors, you know, those are all things that are being shown on these drawings. Excuse me, and then this is the accessory sleeping floor plan. The garage stays the same. The one bedroom here stays the same, as does the second bedroom. the living area gets expanded. So we're adding 220 square feet to the living area. So this area here is living as opposed to this area here is living. The existing accessory sleeping building has a small wet bar. It'll be the same thing in the new one. So basically, we're just adding this 220 square feet to the living area. Adding this 99 square feet to the living area, bringing that living room area up to 220 square feet. But in essence, the building pretty much stays the same, especially from a zoning perspective. Here's a couple of renderings that the designer had done for this. This is looking down from the corner of that, what would it be, the northeast corner, looking down at the property. And then this is looking up from Tuttle Drive from the southeast corner, looking up at the house. So that's what I have as far as the presentation. If you've got any questions for me, I'd be more than happy to answer them. But that's what we've got.
Anybody have any questions?
Yeah.
And you said you're waiting on health department because you're moving both the septic and the well?
Yeah, well, the way the health department process works on a situation like this is if we need to get ZBA approval for a project, we have to get that before they'll finalize their approval. We've applied to them, we have to get a variance because we're too close to one of the neighboring wells. We were able to design it so that we're at the same distance from the well as the current system, so we have no doubt that we'll get that approval because we are making it better by putting in the IA system in the pressurized shallow drain field. But it's just a matter of where it goes in the chronology of the application process.
Anyone else? Okay, do we have anybody in Zoom land that would like to make a comment on this?
The hand on there is actually her cursor. Isn't it?
Yeah, it's in the back.
Yeah,
Or is that you raising your hand?
no.
Back there.
Can I say something?
Is there anyone in Zoom land raising their hand? No? No? I think we can close this. And,
Written correspondence.
you know, we'll discuss this at our work session on the 15th of January. And we'll leave it open for written correspondence until the 8th of January.
Thank you very much, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Can I have a motion to close the meeting?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
I'd like to just go into legal advice.